Thank you. I am truly and profoundly moved by this award, and I am grateful to Penn for selecting me as this year's recipient. My respect for this organization has no borders, and among the organizations that help writers, Penn has been so fierce, so consistent, and ferocious in its efforts. It's difficult to ignore their worldwide fame and their impact.
Authoritarian reigns, dictators, despots are often, but not always, fools. But none is foolish enough to give perceptive, dissident writers free range to publish their judgments or to follow their creative instinct. They know they do so at their own peril. None are stupid enough to abandon control, overt or insidious, over media. The methods include surveillance, censorship, arrest, even slaughter of writers, informing and disturbing the public. Of writers calling into question, taking another deeper look. Writers, journalists, essayists, bloggers, poets, playwrights. These people disturb the social oppression that functions like a coma on a population. A coma that the despots call peace. These writers staunch the blood flow of war that hawks and profiteers thrilled to. And that is peril to these regimes. Our peril is of another sort. Imagine how bleak, unlivable, insufferable existence becomes when we are deprived of that work. That the life and work of writers facing peril should be protected as urgent, but along with that urgency, we should remind ourselves that its absence, the choking off of a writer's work, its cruel amputation, are of equal peril to us. The rescue we extend to them is generosity we show to ourselves. We know all the nations that can be identified by the flight of writers from their shores. These are regimes whose fear of unmonitored writing is justified, because truth is trouble. It's trouble for the warmonger. It's real trouble for the torturer, the corporate thief, the political hack, and for a comatose public. Unpersecuted, unjailed, unharassed writers are trouble for that ignorant bully, and for that sly racist, and for the predators who feed off of the world's resources. The alarm, the disquiet. Writers' raise is instructive because it is open and vulnerable, and because left unmonitored, it is threatening. Therefore, the historical suppression of writers is the earliest harbinger of the steady peeling away of subsequent rights and liberties that are to follow. The history of persecuted writers is as long as the history of literature itself, and their efforts to censor, starve, annihilate, and regulate us are clear signs that something important is taking place. Cultural and political forces can sweep clean all but the safe, all but the state-approved art. I've been told that there are two human reactions to the perception of chaos: naming and violence. When the chaos is simply the unknown, the naming can happen effortlessly. A new species, a new star, a new formula, equation, or prognosis. There's also mapping and charting and the devising of proper nouns of the unnamed, or stripped of names, geography, landscape, and population. When the chaos resists, either by reforming itself or rebelling against imposed order, violence is understood to be the most common reaction, and the most rational when confronting the unknown, the wild, the wanting, the incorrigible. Rational responses may be censure, incarceration in holding camps, prison, or death, singly or in war. There is, however, a third response to chaos which I have not heard much about, which is stillness. Such stillness can be passivity or dumbfoundedness, yes, or it can be paralytic fear. But it can also be art. And those writers plying their craft near to or far from the throne of raw power, of military power, of empire building and counting houses. Writers who construct meaning in the face of chaos must be nurtured and must be protected. And it is right that that protection be initiated by other writers. And it is imperative not only to save the besieged writers, but to save ourselves. The thought that leads me to contemplate with dread the erasure of other voices, unwritten novels, poems whispered, swallowed for fear of being overheard by the wrong person, outlawed languages flourishing underground, essayists' questions challenging authority never being posed, unstaged plays, canceled films. That's a nightmare. It's as though the whole world, the whole universe, was being described in invisible ink. Certain kinds of trauma visited on a people are so deep, so cruel that, unlike money, unlike vengeance, even unlike justice or the goodwill of others, writers can translate such trauma and turn sorrow into meaning, sharpening the moral imagination. A writer's life and work are not gift to mankind. A writer's life and work are its necessity. Thank you.